So today we're going to take a look at the Guard versus OR Esports here on Pearl, because the Guard put on an absolute clinic, and I'm sure many of you will agree that the Guard could probably give a good go at most of the tier 1 teams, if not beat quite a few of them, to be honest, because they look very, very good right now. And let's take a look at how they played here on Pearl, and we'll start with round 6. And in round 6, we're actually going to see quite a bit of a passive hold from them. They're on the defensive side. They're already 5-0 up, but they're going to play a bit passive. They aren't really going to go past this line really at all, right? Which is quite giving up quite a bit of space, for everyone to be behind that line is quite odd a lot of the time, you might say, but it's perfectly fine in this round because we have Killjoy Lockdown and KO ult, so we feel pretty confident in any kind of retake scenario, whatever it might be. So I don't mind the call at all here. And the thing is that the Guard kind of have over a lot of other teams, and you will have to forgive this jitteriness. I think that's just how it's been recorded. But one thing that the Guard have over other teams, I think, is that they are just, they've played together for so long, 4 of them now, that they just have that trust in one another and they know exactly what they need to do. So what you're going to see is, they make some progress towards the double doors here, and then they smoke this off, and they're going to bring a bit of pressure towards Valorant just here. The thing is, Valorant has complete trust that these guys are going to hold this. Texas is going to hold that with the op just there, and that he can just, kind of focus his attention on this and be absolutely fine, right? Net, after, feeling that, yeah, we might get a bit of pressure down here, he doesn't want to get caught out here, so he starts to retreat as well, which is all well and good. And yeah, what you're going to see here is just, again, just really, really smart play. You're going to see that Valorant, I think he catches a glimpse just there, but actually manages to get that first kill. But I love his reaction, right? Because a lot of pro players, after they get a kill, the adrenaline starts pumping. They get, they start going, I'm the best player in the world. Watch this. They run forward, they die, and, then the round becomes a toss-up again, right? Instead, Valorant, he's not going to do that, right? He's going to get the kill, and he's going to play it smart. We're in a 5v4. We're already kind of playing for a bit of a retake setup on B. So, I'm just going to play nice and passive, and I'm just going to hold super deep, right? Just super safe, super deep, because I trust in our retakes. I trust in the rest of my team, and so we feel absolutely fine, right? Again, we're just playing super, super passive. We're just like completely, not fussed by what they're doing. Drone comes out here towards Art and is going to see that, there isn't really too much going on there. They do see the breach up there as well, but, again, we just got Trent and Jonah here just holding as normal. But you're going to see Valen gets rewarded by holding this super passive angle, because he's going to see Leah, sends off a couple shots, and then, you're not coming in here, right? So kind of forcing them, almost forcing them to come down this way into Net, and Net's ultimately going to end up sending a Killjoy Lockdown in. Now, he sends this Killjoy Lockdown in, and ultimately, it's not going to be maybe the most effective Killjoy Lockdown ever, as you will see, because ultimately OR just end up coming back, right? But there's potential for OR to either, they could come back to A, so these guys decide to just stay here, but ultimately, they are just going to come back to B and manage to get the spike down. But it's not the end of the world, and I think, a lot of pro teams and whatnot maybe don't use their ults. They tend to save them, I think, for like these perfect moments a bit too much. So I don't hate on it too much, right? It brought the time pressure in a bit more. But anyway, we end up in a 5v4, but we still trust our retake. We still got this KO ult. So again, we're just gonna play nice and safe here, right? Just wait for our team. But we actually get a breach ult coming from OR Esports, right? They're gonna go here, and they're actually gonna push behind this breach ult as well, as you will see in just a second. But again, the quick thinking of Net here. He's just here, as you can see. He's gonna throw down a nano swarm in just here that you will see go off in just a second, and basically they trade a breach ult for a nano swarm. It's really, really good stuff. I mean, look at this, right? Just nano swarm goes off from Net, and we've just traded a nano swarm for a breach ult, which is obviously very, very good. KO ult pops, and now we just, feel like we're just in control of this round. This is what we were playing for the whole time. It's really, really good. You're gonna see that retake is just very good, right? They're sending this KO nade, you've got a shock dart there, dart comes in, all of that. Valen gets that first kill just there. They start, flashing around here. Jonah gets 2. Sure, Nilias is able to get a couple back, but it's too late, and the Guard win. And you see how they had a plan from the round going in, right? Everyone did and played to that plan pretty much exactly, and they win the round, right? And this is just the Guard. Everything is just like, this is what we're going to do. They do it, and then they win the round, right? And it's just super simple stuff sometimes, but they just do it really well. Let's come to round number 9, because again, we're going to see more smart decisions here by the Guard, but also combined with a lot of player skill, right? So you've got Net here, and we're against a save actually here for OR Esports, where, they've just got Sheriffs and a couple Stingers and whatnot. And they're again going to go for another kind of double doors push. They are going to eventually come in here after they smoke this off just there, send in Prowler, destroy the turret just there, and you see that Net ends up backing away, right? And this, again, it's just good stuff by Net here, right? Because, again, he's going to play the super safe angle. Okay, he actually gets flashed, right? And so what's his first response? His first response is, again, to just, not contest too much, just escape, right? Because the thing is, if Net dies in here, and what I really, really liked is, again, a lot of pro players in this scenario would have stayed in here, and probably would have died and given up a gun. And now you're in a 5v4 where, they now have a gun as well. Like, it could easily go against them. Instead, Net's next reaction was to come back into a safe position. Okay, he got flashed, he retreats again, right? And he just doesn't let them do that, right? And we, again, trust the rest of the team that, okay, if they're pushing me hard here, I'm just going to retreat. I trust that my team, yeah, we're going to KO knife this, we're going to take this space back, right? Tex has already got this space in A main, so it's fine. It's not like we've just completely lost all of our space. We've taken some of it back, and we're in a good position elsewhere on the map, so I can afford to be, a bit passive here, right? That's absolutely fine. Trent's the exact same, right? He knows, well, we've got A main control, we've got a lot of B main control, so, I don't need to be super holding this down and risking my life here, so I'm just going to play a bit more passive, walk back from this area, come back to a safe position, trust the rest of my team again, and you're gonna see, guess what happens? They get rewarded for that. And this is the thing. The guard just don't make those kind of mistakes, right? They don't get caught nearly as often as a lot of other teams do, when these teams try and, go for these, like, more risky plays and whatever. The guard just play it kind of smart, and you're gonna see they get rewarded for that. Now, this, I think, is a very difficult thing to do when you do, like, a full 5-stack art exec. I think that this is a pretty tricky thing because you have to worry about down here, you have to worry about this way, and you have to worry about that way, which is, a lot of directions to have to look all at once, and that's not easy. And you'll see that ends up kind of happening where, you're having to check a lot of different things and whatnot, and they do come and clear, a decent portion of the site, but Tex gets that first kill. Here's where the player skill comes in, though, that they also have talent. They don't just make a lot of good decisions. They also have talent where Tex just goes absolutely crazy and ends up getting a 4K from that scenario somehow, and then Trent eventually manages to finish it off just there. So when you combine the fact that they've got very good players and the fact that they don't make those mistakes, right? They don't get caught in bad situations where they can't get out of it, it leads to things like this where they're 9-0 up. Now let's come to round 13 because it's the exact same, and I do think there was a little bit of a comp thing going on here as well, because OR's comp, right, of this raise and breach and fade stuff that, was kind of very popular, kind of last meta, let's say, with the chamber stuff in there as well. The problem with that comp is that it is much more geared to go towards A on this map, I think, right? Like the breach, the fade, the raise are all going to do better in these tighter spaces on A rather than the bigger spaces on B, right? The problem is this B site is kind of very hard to defend in general. And so actually, I think OR only actually managed to go to like this B site like a couple times in their half. They really focused on this A site and just got destroyed. And I do think that, well, Valen, let's say, just knows what's going on in this map because pistol round, first round, we're going B. And, drone comes out and out we go, right? We're going B. And, well, Valen here, it's like he's a conductor of a beautiful orchestra, right? Because what's going to happen is they throw in this KO knife, right? They create a lot of pressure coming this way, and now it's just pause. Right, eventually OR are going to push mid, as you can see just here, the turret starts going off, they destroy the turret just there, but now it's just a big pause, right, and just make them think like, maybe they could be coming all the way back this way, or ooh, maybe they're re-clearing mid, or, whatever it is, just make these guys question what's really going on. Are they actually going to be? You see they start rotating back to A. The plan works, and what you're going to see is eventually we are going to decide to come to this B site. We start walking up, creeping up slowly, and here we go, right? It's well timed. Everything goes off, smoke here, right? We've given no signal until just this moment in time, and now we're going for it, right? So Jonas sends in a flash across here. Tex is going to dash across. He's then going to come out of the flash, out of the smoke with the flash, and you'll see it all works perfectly because Leah is blind as a bat and dies there. Then the rest of the team come in. They manage to find Jonas 6 there, and we get the spike down. We're in a 5v3, and from here it's just an absolute clinic. And yeah, the guard would ultimately just manage to win this round fairly comfortably, as you will see. And yeah, this is just how they are playing at the moment is just really, really good. And I do think they have this advantage, obviously, of having played together for such a long time, so many of their team, that, obviously the chemistry is just there. They could probably, do stuff without even having to say a word because they know what each of them is going to do already, right? And now let's come and finish with round number 16. And we're going to start off with some A presents here with KO Knife, Sovadar in there as well. And they're going to come and get Trent this ult orb just here. They actually tap the orb, which baits out a stun and an Astra Suck and whatnot and a bit of spray. But ultimately, they are going to get this ult orb for Trent, and he's going to pick up his ult. And, they get this A main control nice and early. Now, what's going to go on here is we're also going to get a drone out here, as it looks like, oh, they might go for this fast A play, right? But Aftershock comes in, so they kind of have to, abort that plan and whatnot, run away from it. And so they do, right? They hop back. But what's going on at that time is you got Zeldris here with an op, and he initially started here with the op, came back, came around, didn't like this angle, and so decides to retreat. And this, again, reminded me of that first round that we took a look at where, ultimately, OR Esports here, they're going to end up in pretty passive positions. Okay, we have, like, some contestation of this, right? But we don't know what's going on here at all. We're super far back here. Is this Fade really going to be able to hold this down? Probably not, right? And it reminded me of kind of the meme where it's, the guard, when they play passive, it's because we want to play passive, right? When you play passive, it's because, we're making you play passive. We are not the same. Right, that's kind of what it is for the guard here, where they end up in this position, OR, right, which is not really where you want to be with this much time left in a round, because KO Knife goes in there, right, and now they start thinking, are they going towards B? Don't know. Silverdart comes in here, we're confused, we don't really know where they are going and whatnot, and so, the guard, they're going to exploit this, right, they're going to get ready, they get into a perfect position for an A split, right, they're all the way up here, ready to come here, they're all the way up here, ready to come here, this is absolutely perfect, exactly where they want to be, and you're going to see it's going to work pretty well, because what we're going to get is Astra Star down here, and you think, oh, maybe that's a smoke. No, it's a suck, because instead what we're going to get is we're going to get the Sova ult in here with an Astra Suck, and guess what? This Astra down here, you're screwed. Because you're going to die, because there's no escape from that. Trent managed to get the kill. Really, really nice stuff. And then, yeah, sure, we get Raised Nade, we get, breached on whatever. It delays us a bit, but, not enough to where we can't get the spike down. Tex manages to get that kill just there. We're in a 5v3, and even though they lose this fight, and I'm sorry about the jittering, but, there's nothing I can really do about it. But I love this as well, right? Okay, Nilias gets that kill on net there. 3 people are going to all sprint this way, right? So when Jonah P swings this angle, sure, he manages to get the kill. If Jonah doesn't get the kill, one of these, he's getting traded here, Jonah, if he doesn't win that fight. Like, that's for pretty much sure. And, again, it's just really good from the guard. Even if Jonah maybe was a bit antsy there, to be honest, in swinging maybe a tad just before he necessarily should. But either way, it's just really good stuff. We end up in a 4v2. And even though Zeldris is going to manage to get that one just there, ultimately, Tex, I think, is going to end this with his knives just here. Gets the kill on Leah and ends it right there with a really nice shot on Zeldris. And they would go on and win the other map very convincingly as well. And the guard just look like a very, very good team.